Hello, beautiful. This is Jennifer Ness Schmidt coming in as Divinely Jennifer. And the last 4 weeks of this Aquarius lunar cycle has been quite the whirlwind. And there's a reason you haven't seen anything from me over the last 4 weeks, because my mom fell right at the time of the new moon, just a little bit afterwards, and gave herself a pretty serious black eye. Luckily, nothing broken in her face, but she did break her hip. She got a hairline fracture in her hip. And so as soon as I found out about her fall, I flew out there, flew up to where they are, outside of Sacramento, where my parents live, and was caregiving both of my parents, mom while she was in the hospital and dad at home. And the fall definitely precipitated a very serious decline in my father's health, which he actually attributed to the COVID jab, the 5 jabs that he had gotten. And it was really a huge awakening for him, and betrayal and disappointment around that part. And I think he just got tired of being old. And I had the privilege of being his nurse and his caregiver for the last 2 weeks, almost 3 weeks of his life. And he left us on February 9th. He crossed over into the beautiful great beyond. He crossed the veil, the threshold, the rainbow bridge, whatever you want to call it. And it was really beautiful to watch him wake up in his last days. And in fact, just before he died, my mom said he kind of sat up in bed. We were able to get him home on hospice, thank goodness. And he sat up in bed and he said, "I'm awake." And to me, that was just such a beautiful expression for him to have awakened to the divine, awaken to the love that was there waiting for him. We talked a lot about death and what was on the other side of the veil, and God and Jesus and all these different things, his near-death experiences he had had in his life as a young man in the Navy during the Korean War, and later as an adult, all these different experiences that he had had, and he was ready. Whew. So that's why you haven't seen much of me. I stayed with my mom for another 9 days to make sure she was going to be good. She was okay. Leave her in the hands of my sister to look after her physically, and I'm looking after her virtually, and then I'll be up there again in a couple of weeks. So very intense time for me personally, for my family, for so many people out there. And I know for myself, I'm just a completely different person now after experiencing what I did with my father during his transition. And so I'm really curious. I know that that's going to transform more deeply the way that I work, the way that I channel, the way that I read. I saw my father's death in the full moon chart. And I remember telling my partner, "I don't like this one bit. I see death in this chart." And I saw earthquake in the chart too. And of course, then they had that earthquake in Turkey. So not something that I wanted to predict or bring on, but just knowing that these energies are there in the chart, as well as really, amazing experiences. So this is where I am right now. Things are going to be pretty quiet. I'm going to keep things pretty quiet during the Pisces lunar cycle. I will open up the doors. The doors for the Luna liberation are open. For Pisces, it's a pretty small investment, all things considered. You'll get a new moon reading and a full moon reading, and get to join a community of some pretty awesome women. And we'll do some other stuff too. I do like pop-up readings and things like that. You can come in, ask for support in the community, share your wins, etc. If this is something that interests you, please feel free to reach out to me via email at hello@divinelyjennifer.com. And also You can message me on Telegram or Instagram at Divinely Jennifer. I wanted to also just come in with a little blurb on the Pisces new moon. I'm not going to do a full in-depth reading or video like I have in the past. I'm going to be saving that for the women in Lunar Liberation, as far as kind of the general overview, as well as in their own readings and how this moon applies to them. But just to give you a bit of an overview of what you might experience with this new moon, I'm calling it diving deep into divinity, because it was very much about diving deep into ourselves, into our own inner psyches and inner depths. And it's like you dive into the light, diving into the light of the divine, the cosmos, diving into the light of our dreams. And instead of being a victim to the dreams that haven't come true and why the heck not, really feeling sovereign and free, tapping into your own inner magic and that divinity that is there. Venus is going to shift into Aries shortly after the new moon, which is happening at 12:05 a.m. on Monday, 12:05 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, 2:05 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on February 20th. So Venus will be moving into fiery, passionate, independent Aries just after, and we're really going to feel that shift. I encourage you to go out and look at the sky around 7 in the evening, wherever you are, and you can see Venus and Jupiter moving closer and closer and closer until they finally conjunct on March 1st. And it's going to be a spectacular conjunction. And then Jupiter will move closer and closer to the sun until we can no longer see him, or he'll look like he's moving closer to the sun in the sky, in the heavens. So we won't see him much until probably this summer, when he reemerges as a morning star. Saturn will reemerge as a morning star. We're no longer seeing Saturn up in the sky. And Saturn is conjunct this new moon. Feeling my dad there with that divine father energy, divine masculine energy, with Saturn conjuncting this new moon. Again, I'll be doing a deeper dive with the lunar liberations, and also giving people some individualized readings in lunar liberation. So if you want to know more, just reach out to me and I'll ping you tomorrow or later tonight, whatever feels right. Whenever you get this, you can reply. If you're getting this in a newsletter, you can simply reply to the newsletter. You can leave a comment here on YouTube or anything, send me an email or Instagram, etc. Lots of ways to reach me. And know that I am sending you so much love as I am navigating my father's transition, and really what that means. He was such a beautiful spirit, is such a beautiful spirit. He was a beautiful human. And I know he is working his magic from the other side. So stay tuned for how he will be expressing himself through me, his loving daughter. I am sending you so much love. And I hope to see you in Lunar Liberations. I love you. I'm Divinely Jennifer.